delivering for Palmerston.
Mr Deputy Speaker.
I call the member for Whitsunday.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Much has been said about the child safety system in this chamber in the last few days. What hasn't been acknowledged in any of the contribution by those opposite is the mistakes that have been made by this government, the failures that have happened time and time again and have left some of our most vulnerable children open to harm. This minister has every excuse in the book, but there needs to be a recognition and an accountability of mistakes, of reforms that have not been carried out, and stop using the privacy provisions of the legislation that is designed to protect children instead of protecting the minister. Darcy, Helen and Chloe Ann Connolly deserve more than what this government has done for them. I want to read to the House an excerpt from Justice Applegarth's judgment with the mother's case. When their dead bodies were discovered, their skin was badly blistered. They had suffered dehydration. One can only hope that these little girls slowly succumbed to the growing heat of the day much earlier that morning and faded into a deep sleep from which they never returned. Mr Speaker, as hard as it is, and as a mother myself, I find it devastating that this happened to two little girls on this government's watch. We must force ourselves to turn our minds to this tragedy. We must examine what has gone wrong, what went so wrong that a mother left her children in a car who had a clear history of substance abuse, which, when her children were exposed to, were at great risk, on a case that was closed by the department. Their father should have more than fingerprints on a dirty door to remember them. And these are only two children, where there have been many more failed by three ministers prior. Many other children have died, and many other children are currently in harm's way. The Commissioner of Inquiry, for the Attorney-General's benefit, who today commented, was in fact 10 years ago, and we should be much further along than where we are. We have a brave whistleblower who has come out today and said her caseload exceeded 20 cases. I sure hope the minister has reached out to that brave young woman. The recommendation 10.4 of that Commission of Inquiry recommended the caseloads of child safety officers not exceed average cases of 15, and in other states like New South Wales, they have capped caseloads. Too many children are in danger. Too many are being swept aside by this government as a political problem rather than the vulnerable humans they are. And, Mr Speaker, if I hear one more excuse about the COVID impacts that are prohibiting the government from doing the job they should have been doing all the way along, I think I will scream in this House. The minister needs to step up and take accountability, because this government is not keeping vulnerable Queensland children safe.